You are going to be...
Today's visiting starting 11 from the York City FC. Number 2, Curtin Kenton. Number 5, Stephen Carroll. Number 8, Jason Goodman. Number 9, Sean Lawson. Number 10, Tyler Shady. Number 11, Matt Todd. Number 14, Afcaa Vs Dcfc. Number 15, James Fisher. Number 27, Will Perkins. Number 30, Danny Deacon. And in goal, Connor Moore. And now the St. Joseph Mercy Health System starting 11 for AFC Ann Arbor. Number 5, Matt Gray. Number 10, Yazid Matthews. Number 12, Jared Dawes. Number 14, Will Estes. Number 16, James Bond. Number 20, Ben Thornton. Number 22, James Ruth. Number 27, Stephen Turnbull. Number 44, Marlon DeFreitas. Number 55, Jordan Montoya. And in goal, Ian McGrain. Head coach and sporting director for AFC Ann Arbor is Eric Rudlin. Fans, please welcome to the field Sarah Stansfield singing today's national anthem. Sarah is a rising sophomore at Skyline High School and a member of the Pioneer Theater Guild. At this time, we have those that can please rise. And gentlemen, please remove your caps as she sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dancing light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose that stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched, burn so gallantly streaming, and the wagons running, the monsters singing, and cool through the night, our flag lies still there. Oh, sing as our stars spangled.
Good afternoon and welcome to Cardinal Stadium on the campus of Concordia University Ann Arbor for another edition of AFC Ann Arbor Men's Soccer. As always, our live broadcasts have been brought to you all season long by St. Joseph Mercy Health System, the official wellness partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Today, it's the biggest game of the year as the Mighty Oak take on Detroit City FC in a winner-take-all game that could decide the Great Lakes Division title. I'm Josh Hackala alongside Ryan McCooch, and thanks for joining us on a beautiful day in Ann Arbor for this NPSL League match, the second to last game of the season. Both teams come into today's game with the exact same record, tied for first place, and while there are plenty of scenarios, we'll just keep it real simple for you right now. The winner of this game wins the division title. That's it. That's very simple. A draw, and then we're going to have to go into some tiebreaker fun. But Ryan, with so much on the line, we're expecting a big crowd. We've got a big crowd. They're still filing in. And how do you see this match shaking out?
Well, with the first match between these two teams ending in a 0-0, I think you'll see a pretty similar feeling out process. With such a big game, you don't want to make a mistake too early in the match. You see that all the time in these sorts of big games. And I think this will be the case. But with City's back three, the key is going to be exploiting those wings. And we saw that in the most recent City match against Grand Rapids. So it'll be interesting to see how both teams come out, and then after 15 or 20 minutes, we'll see if either side has to regroup at all.
As you mentioned, the last time these two teams met was a scoreless draw over in Hamtramck on May 24th. The Mighty Oak enter today's game with an 8-1-3 record. They're unbeaten in their last 6. Their only loss of the season came to Grand Rapids FC, who are playing right now. They're the only team that's really in the mix for this division title. They've got a lot of ground to make up, but they're playing FC Indiana right now, and I believe last check just took a 1-0 lead at halftime. So they're trying to break into the top two teams getting into the postseason. Ann Arbor's unbeaten in their last 6, and they've won 5 straight games, the last 3 coming by way of shutout against FC Indiana, then back-to-back road wins against Grand Rapids, and then at FC Indiana again. They've outscored their opponents in their last 5, 15-2, and things are really starting to come together at just the right time, Ryan.
Yes, sir. The AFC are looking good on the attack recently, and like you said, with those 3 clean sheets, things are as solid as ever in the back line as we take first kick.
And we're underway. The visiting Detroit City FC in their white jerseys and Ann Arbor in their blues, and there's a foul right out of the gate. Detroit City enter today's game with an 8-1-3 record. Their lone loss coming back on May 19th, the second game of the season at home to Kalamazoo FC. Since then, they've been unbeaten in their last 10, which include a streak of 9 straight shutouts, and they have allowed just 4 goals all season long. So this is going to be a great matchup between the 2 top teams in the division. And we'll get to their starting lineups here as we take this free kick. It's Marlon DeFreitas and James Vaughn over this one. Vaughn to take it in the smoke. Headed up, I should say. And cleared away by Detroit. And we got a foul behind the play. The visitors have Hunter Morse in goal. They play a 3-5-2, as you mentioned, sort of a 3-5-2-ish. They got the wing backs out there. It's Stephen Carroll, Jalen Chrysler, and Abdoulaye Diop will be in the center of defense with Kervin Kenton and Will Perkins out on the wings. Bakey Goodman, Cyrus Sadie, and Danny Deacon in the middle of midfield. Sean Larson and Max Todd, the big goal scorers for this team. I believe 17 goals between them. Starting up top with Ian McGrain in goal for AFC Ann Arbor. Marlon DeFreitas on the left wing for their 4-3-3 formation, which obviously alters throughout the game, but for the most part, that's where they're at. DeFreitas at the left side, Turnbull at the right back position, Matt Brame and Ben Thornton in the middle. James Vaughn, Jake Roof, and Will Eske in the middle of midfield with Jared Doss at the right wing spot, Jordan Montoya on the left, Yazid Matthews in the middle up top, the big man, number 10 for the Mighty Oak.
Something in this lineup I'm looking forward to see is Will Eske playing central midfield. He's played everywhere on the pitch, and this is just another position for him.
So 3 early whistles, and Detroit City's going to get a nice free kick right in the middle of the field. Get a look as to who took the shot there. Slow to get up.
I believe that's Max Todd that took that hit right there, number 11.
And then as he's got a little bit of a limp, let's see, he's a key player for them. 8 goals on the season, 5 assists, second in both categories on this team. Danny Deacon to stand over this one, the 3-man wall for the Mighty Oak.
About 35 out, this will be, I was just going to say, perfect position to sort of play something in off the ball, but float it over everyone's head right there.
Looks like a little miscommunication there here in the 4th minute. On just about as perfect a day as you could ask for. Warm but not too warm. Breezy.
I think the players will be thankful that it's not 90 and sunny. It's more of an 80 and cloudy.
Grain plays it to the near side with Thornton. Ball knocked out. That'll stay with Ann Arbor. Matthews now coming here is Eske through the middle.
Fantastic chest down there from Matthews.
Plays it out wide looking for Doss. Had that cut out. And City with it.
Well, City played with that back three recently, and they've seen some good results with it, but it almost looks like they're starting off here in a back four right now. Be interesting to see how that plays in, because Diop is generally a center midfielder, but as we thought perhaps before the match, he could be in the middle of that back three perhaps.
Yeah, with some personnel changes, both teams missing key players. That's always the case, you know, as the summer goes on. We got injuries, you got other commitments, we have players training with pro teams. You never know what's going to come up, and so it makes coaching in the NPSL such a challenge. As Perkins gets the ball near midfield, plays it into the middle, but gives it away to Ann Arbor. Here's SK. Tried to play it out wide to Das, but
nearly
coming back.
Nearly picture perfect right there. And SK is all over the pitch right now, that's for sure.
Now through the middle, Deacon. There's Diop. Now to the near side. Perkins, tight defense by Montoya, gives it away. Roof on the wing. Sadie giving chase and takes it away.
Nice play there.
Roof and a tackle there behind the play. Roof hits the deck. That was Deacon on the foul. And he gets a conversation out of the deal. A lot of early fouls here in the opening 6 minutes of this ball game.
That's 2 early ones on Roof too, and with a couple of interceptions and tackles made by the midfielder. He's always active, and today is no exception. He's going to have to be a fire starter there in the middle of the park, especially against Detroit City midfield that's been so influential in what was a very long scoreless streak for them.
Throw in down the line, cut out by City. Ends up in the middle. Matthews giving chase. Turning with it is Goodman. Taken away by Matthews. Good defense by the center forward. I haven't seen too many teams that have come here to Cardinal Stadium and played this kind of pressure too. That's been a pretty intense opening few minutes.
That's definitely how City play, and I think their thought process is going to be, we play like this all the time, why change it if we're home or away? But I also think AFC, they have a bit of freedom, especially with the standings as they play out. You can certainly go for the win here. You don't have to worry about dropping in standings if you take a loss, for example, with 4 points separating them and Grand Rapids as the live table doesn't show, but coming into the day, I should say.
SK with a shot, has it blocked and cleared out. Roof tries to bring it down against Max Todd. Todd will win that. Here's Stephen Carroll, Davenport University product, making the cross-state trip over to Detroit. Kalamazoo and Grand Rapids don't get all the Davenport players, they just get most of them.
Nice 1-2 there, but that's some good recovery from Jared Das. He's incredible defensively, that's for sure.
Kenton to throw this one in for Detroit. Switch it over to Perkins. Michigan State Spartan slips. Chipped forward, looking for Todd. Can he bring it down? No, headed back, but Bream into Ian McGrain, who's got 6 shutouts on the season.
Ian's really taken this goalkeeper's position and he's made it his own. His tall frame makes it very difficult for anyone to score, and like Thibaut Courtois when he was with Chelsea, it takes an incredible shot for anyone to beat him.
Brain brings it down, now through the middle, Roof. And another whistle in your midfield, they play it quickly. No, tried to play it quickly. Das takes a jog down the field.
I think the ref wanted them behind halfway. They took it a bit closer to the 45-yard line, and the ref said, we're not having that right now.
Roof plays it all the way back to McGrain. Toya heads it forward, collected. Chrysler at the back. Jalen Chrysler. Gonzaga Bulldog brings it up. Chrysler again, plays it long. Looking for Larson. That's going to go all the way through and for a goal kick. Like AFC Ann Arbor likes scoring goals, Bank of Ann Arbor loves to help. Returning as the title sponsor for the third year, Bank of Ann Arbor is a proud supporter and the official bank of AFC Ann Arbor. Through the middle, Roof and SK collide, and Roof comes away with it. Matthews looking for Turnbull, who's overlapping, and his hand, yes it did.
Just a nice bit of build-up right there, though. Turnbull will be upset that was ruled a handball, as his arm was probably in a bit of an unnatural position, but never trying to measure it down with his hand, I don't think, there.
Here's Todd trying to play it through. Nobody there. Brame scored a rare goal for AFC Ann Arbor.
I believe that was his first goal in his history playing for the club, and he's been around here for quite a while.
And Matt Brame scoring that goal against Grand Rapids FC picked a good time. They really needed that win. Getting 2-0, avenging the 2-0 loss they suffered here, which snapped their 16 game home unbeaten streak. It was a
heck of a streak for sure. That helped earn him a spot on the Football Manager Team of the Week for the NPSL as well, which well earned in my opinion. 2 clean sheets that week as well, and he was instrumental in the goal.
SK runs out of real estate, can't keep it in, and that'll be a goal kick for Detroit City.
Well, an interesting subplot here in the match is that Hunter Morse is one of the very few players to have played for both teams, and he's doing it in back-to-back years. He was a member of the Mighty Oak last season, and I believe he suited up in the away game to Milwaukee. So we'll see if he has any jitters coming in back into Ann Arbor.
You see, while there are rivalries with the clubs, within the fans, there's actually a lot of pretty good relationships between the coaches and the team. So you do see a lot of players who, you know, they're looking for a team, are like, hey, maybe go play for these guys. You might see a little more playing time. And we've got a corner kick coming.
Another good run up the right wing by Stephen Turnbull. He's active as ever, and the thing about him as well is that even as a right back, he can come across the pitch to this left flank, and he can wreak havoc here too if necessary, or cover for someone if they're out of position.
James Vaughn going to tee this one up from the corner. He leads the team in minutes played in all competitions. Started the last 3 games.
That's impressive too, considering he had to sit out a game for yellow card suspension.
Had a lot of roster fluctuation here this year, and that ball is headed out and brought back down. Roof sends it back to Vaughn in the corner. Can he get there? He does, but he went down. Referee says play on. He's still down though.
It was an aggressive press there. You saw Ben Thornton, the center back, way up the field trying to press, trying to win possession back. And Will SK wins possession back there quite well.
He's been a menace in the middle of the field so far this game. Bream coming off, pushing up from his center back position. Gets it back. Bream with an opportunity, and redirected by Matthews and hit it wide.
That's some good interplay from the center back and the striker. If you'd asked the fan before the game who's going to get the first real clear one-to-one goal, I don't think they'd have said, Matt Bream and Yazid Matthews linking up through the center of the park. But that's what happened right there, and it nearly worked.
Like those who have been pushing for the Matt Bream at forward campaign probably just got more ammunition to their argument.
Fuel to the fire right there.
We're in the 14th minute, still scoreless between AFC Ann Arbor and Detroit City FC, the 2 best teams in the division. Winner wins the division. The team that loses could very, very easily still make the playoffs. Grand Rapids FC is the only one who could ruin that. They are sitting 4 points back currently, they're also winning their game against FC Indiana on the road. So we'll keep an eye on that game for you. Detroit City makes their way up the field and establishing possession in the Ann Arbor side of the pitch. Here they come.
This is the first real sustained possession that we've seen here in the AFC half, really.
Here's Perkins and sending back to Diop. Now Sadie.
Just adding to that too, I think it's interesting that Detroit City are able to more sit back and kind of wait. As you mentioned, it was a hot start, but compared to the match at Keyworth, that one, it seemed that City were just able to blitz at will. But here they've sort of taken a more measured approach. They're content with sitting with the ball, and we'll see if this can get some possession, because anything that has maybe seen a pocket of space has been intercepted so far.
Kenton on the wing, placed into Todd. Still good possession here from City. Todd tried to cross into the middle, headed out by Thornton. And Turnbull finds SK, but he's got two defenders around him and gets taken down by, I think that's Kenton out there.
Looked like an American
Giving up
football tackle there.
It really did. Headed back in by Sadie from City, but taken away. What do we got? A whistle?
Not entirely sure what that was for. Looks like perhaps possession was played out by AFC and the referee ruled it back for a City throw.
City will play it into the middle. SK there. Diop. He's got Perkins making a run on the near side. They play it back in the 17th minute.
That's good positional awareness from Montoya. He saw that Perkins was going to try and get behind him, and he was able to track it, but that's a miscue there by Turnbull.
Kenton into the middle. It's loose in front, and a sitter for Detroit City in the 17th minute.
Some miscommunication there from the defender. I believe that was Thornton and McGrain. Both of them seemed to go for it, and McGrain, I think, had it in his two hands, perhaps. I'd have to see a replay on that. But at the end of the day, it spills out, and City will get the first goal.
Sean Larson scores his 10th goal of the season, leads the team.
Leads the conference for that
And
matter.
leads the conference for that matter, right? The Oakland University product puts Detroit City on the board. And the smoke is flying here at Cardinal Stadium.
Well, it still is a fairly early concession there. So AFC have, you know, there's 75 minutes, give or take, depending on stoppage time, to try and find the equalizer and the potential winner if they hold firm defensively.
There's Jared Doss on the right wing. He's got options in the middle. Slows it down on the ground, and coming off his line is Morse. Morse playing in his 5th game, the Belleville, Michigan native. Deacon through the middle, plays it to the near side.
Seems like also with AFC, SK is pushing forward into more of a 4-4-2 as well. I wasn't sure if that was after the goal or not, but they're definitely going to try and get numbers forward, and we'll see if that is a counter to this opening goal, to see if they take further measures to try and get that goal back before halftime.
Montoya wins the ball. Thornton plays it up for SK. Can he beat Chrysler? He's got just in behind him. They're doing some arm fighting, and he's looking for a call as he thought he was getting held. That went out for a goal kick. Kind of like a 50-50 situation there. Both players fouling each other on the way in.
SK has some good speed on the wing. He was trying to round him there. The way the ball played was, however, he had to almost circumnavigate him. Chrysler had some good positioning on that ball, so it was always hard for him to get there, but SK put in a good shift there, and he's put in a good shift all game so far.
Ball finds midfield with Sadie. Now plays it back. Jalen Chrysler playing in his 12th game and a mainstay at the back line for this team.
More sustained possession here for City. They are looking to try and build out from back. They have the midfield and the defenders to do so. But as I say that, they try and play it over the AFC defense right there.
It's cut out by Thornton, and DeFreitas sends it forward looking for Matthews. Chested down and played back to Morse. 21st minute, Detroit City with the lead on a Sean Larson goal in the 17th minute. AFC Ann Arbor leads the all-time series 4-2-2. They're unbeaten in their last 3 against City.
The impressive thing is, too, that was a shutout streak that was just broken there. AFC had held City scoreless for the past 3 games. Obviously, that's no longer the case, but it was still a heck of a run, especially against a team like City that can put up goals as they do.
And a shutout streak against their most recent opponents. 3 straight shutouts for AFC Ann Arbor coming into this game. And a throw in on the near side for Detroit City. By DeFreitas, that'll stay with LaRouche.
Well, it is early in the match, and I did just say that there's still plenty of time, but it feels like the next goal in this match, if there is another goal, is going to be crucial. If you're AFC, you don't want to concede, obviously. You don't want to go down 2-0, especially before half. But if you're City, obviously, you don't want to give up an equalizer, especially before the half, and just immediately throw away your early lead. So if AFC are able to equalize, it'd be a fantastic way to put pressure on them for the rest of the match. If it's in, say, the next 5 or 10 minutes.
There's Todd on the left wing, sending the cross over the bar, and a goal kick for Ann Arbor. There's fans who come out to AFC Ann Arbor home games can stop by the club's beer stand where they are serving beer from North Peak Brewing and also wine available to fans 21 years or older. North Peak Brewing is the official brewery of AFC Ann Arbor. McGrain finished his college career at South Carolina. Here's Matthews, needs some help as it knocked away.
Hit another nice 1-2 there with Eske, and the great thing about Matthews is that as such a big striker, he's able to just chest it down and play 1-2 off his chest, which is something that you can't always see with many strikers. It's almost reminds me of Christian Benteke when he played with Aston Villa. He's just so dangerous finishing, but he's also that physical presence up top on the pitch as well.
Sean Larson coming back to help out for City. Now Perkins on the near side. Kenton on the far side. We'll see him making runs up and down the wing throughout the day, that's for sure, and he has it now. Kenton from Coastal Carolina.
He earned himself
same as Yazid Matthews.
I was also just going to say, college teammates with Matthews. He earned himself preseason Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Season before his senior year. In the City matches that I've watched this season, he's been one of their more impressive players, as Thornton's going to get whistled for a foul there.
The referee wants to bring it back. Now Chrysler to the near side. Diop brings it up. Now Definitely been more possession on the side of Detroit City in this opening 25 minutes of the match.
They've had some of those sustained possession build-ups, and at least one of them really paid off in the goal, but they've been able to maintain possession. They've been able to keep their cool, and you'd expect that with a team that's setting up for professional league play.
Perkins,
that's a good run there.
has the ball on his left now. They play it out wide, and Deacon unable to get there. Montoya gives it away, and that's going to be a goal kick.
I think we're going to get a water break right here as well.
You know, I had not heard if they were doing that. I guess that is what's going to happen. Water break here, 25th minute. Detroit City with a 1-0 lead over AFC Ann Arbor. Both teams at the top of the division standings. The winner will clinch the division. Anything else, it'll just be all sorts of tiebreakers and whatnot. So I'm going to take a peek over at Grand Rapids FC. Last we checked, they were up 1-0 to start the second half.
I have an update, breaking update. Grand Rapids.
Go for it.
Grand Rapids has added a second goal. Scott Doney with a brace for the boys in blue out in Grand Rapids, as they will take a 2-0 lead. So as it stands, it would be a 1-point separation in the live table between AFC and Grand Rapids for that second place in the table.
Yeah, where's our live table? Did we not bring that out? No,
we
that's
do
a shame.
not have the graphics.
We missed out on that.
For that.
We'll save that for the last game of the season, or maybe we won't even need it if this goes the AFC Ann Arbor's way. But right now, Grand Rapids with 23 points entering the day, just 4 points behind Detroit City and AFC Ann Arbor. They're the only team that can finish in the top two. So 2 spots and 3 teams trying to make the NPSL postseason.
Something I like about these water breaks, and I know some soccer fans may disagree with me, is that they do serve as almost a de facto timeout, where coaches are able to get their troops rallied, give them some pointers, tell them what they want. And it does defeat the purpose a bit of the 90 continuous minutes of a soccer match. But on a hot day, it's twofold that I like about it. One, on a hot day, you got to stay hydrated. You don't want a player cramping up. You don't want more stoppage time. But also, it adds that bit of extra strategy. So now, as we come out of this water break, we can see what Eric Rudland has decided, if things are good, if you want to hold firm, or if Trevor James has said, all right, boys, we're a goal up. We want to sit back a little more. It's always interesting to see what these different coaches will come out with out of the water break.
Looks like we have a sub. Unless I missed something. No? It looks like that is the case, yeah. Tendai Jadida is into the ball game for Detroit City.
He's come on for Kervin Kenton, I believe, at the left back position.
So he slots right in. I didn't see him shaken up or anything, but
I didn't either.
I can't imagine that it's a strategic position up by a goal.
Almost a nice run found there by Montoya. It looked like Afcaa and Montoya were just a step off the pace from each other, but you're looking forward, and that's what you like to see as an AFC Ann Arbor fan. Afcaa is looking forward almost as that second striker, that attacking mid, and if Montoya and Das can keep making runs up the wing, you're certainly going to imagine that at least 1 or 2 of those is going to be open, and from there you just got to put numbers into the box and try and get at the end of a cross. Well, also, as Tendai has come into the game, he is another one of those players, along with Morse, that has played for both of these teams. And a fun fact about Tendai is that in the 2017 Midwest Regional Final that saw these two teams play against each other, he was named AFC's Club Man of the Match for that match. So plenty of history with him with both of these clubs now.
Roof gets the ball at midfield and looks to start a break for AFC Ann Arbor. Jared Doss holds up. Now Turnbull joining the attack.
Another good run there for Turnbull.
We're going to get a corner kick out of it. Stephen Turnbull, part of the Stony Brook pipeline, the Stony Brook to Ann Arbor pipeline that It's been established.
That was a bit of Stony Brook to Seawolf action right there as Das played Turnbull through to earn that corner. As Vaughn will set up to take this one as per usual.
Vaughn from Northwood, a Division II NCAA team. Floats one into the box. Thornton across, and Das wasn't able to save it. Thornton was the first one there, though. Just unable to put it on target. 30th minute. Detroit City with the 1-0 lead on a Sean Larson goal in the 17th minute. The Great Lakes Conference Division, whatever you're calling it. I call it Division. I'm sticking with it.
I think it's listed as either or. So
I think it's actually listed as both on the website now. Now that they've just confused themselves completely. So
we have some creative liberty here on the broadcast.
Right. And there's Das deflecting it and tries to keep it alive, but it ends up into the hands of Morse.
It's always, I don't know what I would call a good moment when you see things like that happen for me, because you never know what's going to happen. As long as you're under control and not flying in there recklessly, you might as well challenge that long kick. You might as well see, especially if it's a keeper doing it. Maybe it's just one of my first proper matches as a Liverpool fan. I saw Adam Lallana do that to Swansea.
There's SK with a chance.
SK has
cuts to his right, but has it knocked away. That was a chance there for Ann Arbor, but Detroit City is off and running the other way. Sending it through to Todd, but too far. McGrain will send it to DeFreitas on the near side. Diop now on the ground to Goodman. For Larson, he's surrounded. They take it away from him. Brame comes to the sideline, gets a shove, and will earn the free kick.
That's some good play from Brame there. He tried to work himself out of it, and then he saw Todd was shutting down his angle as well. So he felt that forearm to the back. Todd was shoving him over a bit, and Brame earned the foul off of that. That's some good veteran play from a center back who knows what he's doing against the talented attacker. And right there as well, something that highlights just in the last 45 seconds or so that makes these teams so good is that they can surround attackers so well and just start counters. And when you have two teams like that, it makes for a fun match.
Here's Jared Das. Pulls it back, finds Turnbull. Now he gives it right back to him. Great teammates there. Crossing, deflected, corner kick. The Seawolf connection on that right side has been it's been nice all season long. I think having the familiarity, and think it was who recruited who. If I was trying to remember with
Turnbull recruited Das.
That's right. Okay.
I had a nice interview with Das on our podcast, Welcome to Tree Town, available wherever you listen to your fine podcasts. And Das and Turnbull are very good friends. They live in the same room in the apartment, and it makes sense that they're on the same wavelength. And that's a short corner taken there to Das.
They bring it back out, cross it with the left foot into the box, headed up by Diop. Roof trying to send it back in with his chest, and that'll go out for a goal kick.
You could see Das wanted to go for that, but I think he knew he was just a step or two offside there. The attacks are coming for AFC. They're able to get in good attacking position here, but just hasn't been able to pay off yet.
Morse puts it back in play. Falls to Matthews. Finds Das on the right wing. DeFreitas floats one in, looking for Roof, and Morse again comes off his line. Right at the edge of the area. Jake Roof is another player who has been rock solid all season long. He's one of the few players on the team who's played in every game and all competitions. And the Open Cup game and a couple of Milk Cup games. The ball sneaks through and Matthews unable to track it down. Now taken away at midfield. Body's fallen. Montoya And we got a foul behind the play. I think they were letting advantage move along, and they'll bring it back for the foul.
It's another foul one there by Roof. Roof's been all over the pitch.
It's more chippiness here between the two teams. You see off the ball, it's one of those things that maybe if you're maybe the camera's not helping you out too much with that. With the off the ball, like a little shoulder here, a little nudge there.
Especially with guys like Brame and Lawson, where the two of them probably are, Lawson's a striker, Brame's a center back. You're probably getting into those battles over the course of these now 35 minutes. So it doesn't surprise me that those are the two guys involved in a little action there before the free kick.
Turnbull goes crashing in, and we got a foul.
That was an intense, 10, 15 seconds of play right there.
It was.
Looked like there were about 3 different fouls on either team that you could call there.
Now Perkins gets it on the near side, takes a touch and sends it forward for Lawson. Lawson unable to win that. And he wins it back. Triple teamed, and he lost that one. SK using his speed. He's got SK playing into the middle, looking for Montoya. Montoya stays with it and goes crashing into Chrysler, and they're going to call a foul on Montoya, and he's going to reach into his pocket, it looks like. Chrysler down. And Montoya getting the yellow card here in the 36th minute.
I think we'll have the medical team come on for Chrysler for that high boot right there. Especially considering you're dealing with the head with the face. You want to be safe. Better safe than sorry. Take a look.
Yeah, we've seen that quite a bit this year, where really just any hint of a possible head injury, that they get the trainer out there pretty quickly, and Chrysler's going to have to come out, I would think. Like, or at least over to the sideline. No? Thought that's how that worked.
I guess not. It looks like he'll take the free kick as well.
37th minute, Detroit City with a 1-0 lead. Second to last game of the season for both teams. Detroit City plays at Kalamazoo FC on next Saturday. Ann Arbor hosting Toledo Villa. Still having a hard time saying that. It sounds so awkward to me.
Lots of L's there.
Yeah, it's just. But they actually have a relationship with Aston Villa, from what I understand. It's not just they just picked it out of the Euro team name grab bag, right, and picked it. And I always tell people that Detroit City sounds like they're doing that. They just picked it out of well, let's just pick a. But they actually, people do refer to Detroit as Detroit City, so I give them a pass for that for sure.
That's a good turn from Das there.
Das coming over on the left side, taken down. Foul is called. Lots of fouls here in the opening half. Vaughn will put this back in place, switch it over to Turnbull.
The interesting thing is that most of these fouls have been, luckily for City, or perhaps calculated by City, in sort of not too dangerous parts of the pitch. So you have that one taken about 55 yards out at an angle that you're not going to be able to send into the box. Where, as opposed to the foul one in the first minute by Jake Roof, I should say, 30 yards away from the box. That was a good position to take free kick in. So it's smart from City, perhaps, to try and snuff these out. You see that so much in the English Premier League with Manchester City, where they nick and foul you at midfield, where you're not going to be able to do anything.
Perkins takes the throw in for Detroit City. Chrysler tries to switch it. I thought Das was going to get on the end of that. Jadida takes it into the box, crosses it into the middle, and cut out by the Ann Arbor defense. Montoya keeps it in play, but slips. And Perkins is going to save it.
Perkins will keep that in play.
To Todd. Deacon dribbles with his left, and we're going to send it into the corner. Turnbull is there. Up to Matthews, loses that battle. More collisions.
Some more
Diop.
sustained possession here for Detroit, but that first run in by Tendai, the thing that is important is that he was a bit out of control running through that left flank. So the AFC defenders, there were, I believe, both center backs were able to slide and try and almost see that coming, where if you slide and, you know, keep your hands out of the way, you're going to hopefully be able to redirect that away from goal. And fortunately for them, they had that scouted out pretty well.
40th minute on a beautiful day in Ann Arbor, Cardinal Stadium on the campus of Concordia University, Ann Arbor. Roof with his back to goal. Finds Vaughn, now switches over to Turnbull. Got Das in front of him, SK making a run, deflected out. Turnbull came on at halftime in the FC Indiana game, their last time out.
He's
A lot of roster management.
Right back,
really.
yeah. Especially out in Indiana, where Ben Thornton had to sit out for his red card against Grand Rapids. Served as a way to kind of manage the roster, as you said.
And Matthews, I believe, came on as a second half sub. I think they knew they were going to need him against Detroit City. Is Todd pleading with the official for a call?
I think he wanted
He's not going to get it
there. Not sure if he wanted it for a possible foul, or maybe he saw a handball in there.
Yeah, I thought maybe he got it with his hand, but VAR has not come to the NPSL as of yet. So
I think that's also harsh to give too, where if you got guys just kind of rolling around, for lack of a better way to put it, it's hard to control your limbs.
long throw for Perkins, headed out by Thornton. Shot from distance, that takes a deflection. As we just play volleyball and it goes out for a throw. Perkins will toss this in.
Good touch there by Montoya to play that off of Lawson, I believe, and he'll win the throw there.
See what Ann Arbor can do with it. They send it up high in the air to really no one in particular, it looks like.
It's a good touch from SK to work that out to the right wing. Lots of attacks have been coming down that right flank, and for good reason with Turnbull and Das's connection on that right flank. But the left now getting some love too. Immediately as I say that, I feel like that's the commentator's jinx.
Everything we say is a jinx. So I've learned to live with that, and now I've fully understood that jinxing is stupid. Diop through the middle.
City have numbers if they want it. Looks like they're going to pull back. I think that was Goodman who pulled back.
Cross
that
into the
might not matter.
middle,
It will
and
not.
a goal for Larson again, his second of the game. In the 43rd minute, and Detroit City with a 2-0 lead.
That's a heck of a break there on the almost on the counter for Detroit City, and Lawson in the right place at the right time. He's a heck of a counter attacker there, especially centrally. And that play was started down the left wing. For City's attack, you gotta give him credit there.
Never a good time to give up a goal, but right before halftime.
Before halftime, it's tough too, especially when you're down 1-0 already, and you probably have what you want to say to your guys in the locker room at half, and suddenly you got to scrap that and come up with something new in 2 minutes plus stoppage time.
Brame with the ball at the back, sends it over to Thornton. Roof, defenders all over him.
Some nice tight control though. He'll
And
give up the foul, but credit for getting the ball in the first place.
It was Diop who hit the deck. Here's Todd with his back to goal, tries to make the turn, fights through the defense, sends it through to Lawson. Lawson with a chance for a hat trick, but he gets Or pushed out wide.
Some great recovery there from Marlon de Freitas there. He cut off the angle there, and without him cutting off that angle, Lawson's in for a shot.
Diop with a chance from distance, deflected in front. And I'll go out for a throw-in. And that'll stay with Detroit City. I'm seeing 3 minutes of stoppage time.
Makes sense with the water break that we got. A couple fouls too. It's chippy. There's an off the ball foul from Max Todd on Turnbull. Turnbull wants a yellow there for Todd yanking him down. Can't say I blame him. He did horse collar him a bit with the jersey there.
No card comes out. Turnbull and Todd continue battle on the right side, and another foul, and he takes exception to it.
Card's got to come out there, I'd have to imagine.
They have to be separated.
Maybe not.
Yep, and
There
that
it
is
yes.
that is what's going to happen.
I thought so. With such short timing, I figured that you got to try and keep control of the game, even if one or both of those was unintentional. As Todd will plead his case, you got to keep control. If things like that happen without a card coming out for either side, the other side's going to say, "All right, well, we have to match that now," and you don't want to see that, especially in a game of such importance.
It's like throwing at players in baseball. Like you're gonna at some point, someone's got to.
Exactly. You got to
throw down the warning.
Got to say, all right, guys, we've had enough.
Ball brought down into the middle. Todd trying to fight through the defense, and it falls to Sadie. Now, Goodman blocked out. That'll be a throw-in for Detroit. And we got another whistle. What do we got going on here? More conversation.
Thornton's getting a talking to. Not sure for what. He was animated in that conversation with the referee.
Toss it into Diop. Chrysler chips it in. Tried to hit it toward goal. Now Todd is down behind the play.
Some more wrestling there with him and Brame, I think. And I think he got the worst of that. He might have caught an elbow to the head when they were going down. I think Brame kind of stumbled a bit, and we're going to see the trainer come on here again.
Now Brame was motioning toward the sideline as if was he yelling at the side? It's like that.
I think Brame wanted a foul on Todd as well. It looked like, again,
looking
like
for the official.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was definitely some 50-50 jostling there, but I think it was just, like we said, with the limbs flying everywhere and Aaron elbow here, high boot as we saw on the other end there. It's bound to happen at some point.
So Max Todd from Illinois Chicago is second on the team, 8 goals and 5 assists. Has had a great year. It's the 11th game of the year. Had a hat trick against Toledo Villa back on June 30th. Then a two-headed monster up top with him and Sean Larson. $19 goals between the two players as of right now.
Play will be restarted there.
And back underway.
Wonder to see how long we'll be playing for now. That was
a bit of a stoppage.
Fairly lengthy stoppage here in stoppage time. Probably got another couple of minutes, I would have to imagine. Enough time for an attack or two, maybe one for each side, depending on how things go.
SK has it tackled away. Diop, 50-50 ball, and he goes down. And Roof trying to help him up.
Diop does not want the help, it does
No.
not seem. He's all right.
Perfectly capable.
I think Roof caught him with the back leg maybe there, just going at such a high speed. 50-50 ball, got to try and time it right.
Looking elsewhere, 76th minute, Grand Rapids with a 2-0 lead, and right here at halftime, it is Detroit City with a 2-0 lead. A pair of goals from Sean Larson, one in the 17th minute on a really a defensive miscue, we'll call it, as the ball crossed into the middle and just was sitting there for him right on the goal line, essentially, and he tapped it home. And then in the 43rd minute, right before halftime, Larson making the run through the middle. And I believe that was Todd that fed it to him from the left wing, and he finished to make it 2-0. So Detroit City with the lead. The winner takes the division. We'll come back for the second half on this beautiful day in Ann Arbor at Cardinal Stadium. Come right back.
Number supporters, get on your feet, make some noise. It's time for the second score. The Mighty O's.
All right, welcome back to Cardinal Stadium on the campus of Concordia University, Ann Arbor. Josh Hackala and Ryan McCooch here with you. Halftime is over, the second half about to begin. Detroit City FC with a 2-0 lead over the Mighty Oak. We're going to check for any new faces out there for either team. And right out of the gate, Ann Arbor looking with a little bit of life as SK goes for goal. 14 seconds into the half and already a shot toward goal.
Well, what do you do if you're down a couple of goals early? Might as well try and get one of those back. We saw two goals for City, both by Sean Lawson. The first, he capitalized off a miscue, which you would hate to see as an AFC fan, but as a City fan, obviously you're happy that they're capitalizing off of mistakes. And the second one was a well-worked goal. He was there, right place, right time, and a nice finish. But AFC looking to try and start this second half on the front foot. And that SK shot just off target was a good way to start.
Detroit City with the same lineup out there. Hunter Morse in goal. Will Perkins out on the wing with Tendai Jadida out there on the opposite wing on the left side. Stephen Carroll, Jalen Chrysler, and Abdoulaye Diop in the middle of the defense. Bakey Goodman, Cyrus Sadie, Danny Deacon in the midfield with Sean Larson. He's got 2 goals today, and Max Todd, who's playing with a yellow card, up top. The top 2 scorers for Detroit City. Looks like it's the same 11 out there for AFC Ann Arbor as well. Got Ian McGrain in goal, Matt Brame and Ben Thornton in the middle of the defense, Stephen Turnbull at right back, Marlon DeFreitas at left back as Detroit City crosses into the middle, a diving header attempt.
Lawson almost had that one there after some well-worked build-up there from Todd to Sadie into the middle to Lawson, and they'll keep possession. That
and
shot
skied that one. So DeFreitas at left back. In the midfield, Will SK, Jake Roof, and James Vaughn up top in this 4-3-3. Jordan Montoya, who's playing with the yellow card on the left wing. Jared Doss on the right side. Yazid Matthews up top in the middle. So same faces, but different approach with AFC Ann Arbor down by 2. The winner of this game will win the division title, and the loser will have a stressful final day of the season because in Ann Arbor's case, if this result holds, they will have to win their season finale against Toledo on Friday to assure themselves a playoff spot.
The score
Or Grand Rapids could fall on their face in their last game. That's entirely possible. There's a lot of scenarios, but how about just win?
The score in in Indiana, is final as well. Grand Rapids won 4-0 against FC Indiana in Lafayette.
Matthews avoids a tackle, brings it over to the left side, comes back to his right, takes a shot, deflected, and cleared by Detroit. Headed back in by Thornton. DeFreitas steps up, trying to put it on the ground for SK, and there's a foul. DeFreitas joining the attack.
Not the worst foul there for him to give up, too. You're out of position there. You're up in the middle of the pitch. You got to get back to left back. What's an easy way to do that? Clip out the player's back leg 70 yards out from goal.
Well, they let him play, and they're going to, yep.
No real
referee was
there.
waiting for the advantage to play out. It didn't work out, so they're bringing it back. So our broadcast and all of our broadcasts this year brought to you by St. Joseph Mercy Health System, the official wellness partner of the Mighty Oak. Diop to put this in play. Goodman. Back to Carroll.
Well, after a lively first couple of minutes there, City are going to try and kill the vibe that AFC had brought so positively in this first couple of minutes. And it's a good way to do it. Get up, hold possession, get a good ball.
Sadie,
That's
a
great
nice ball from Sadie, and Lawson goes down.
Good recovery there from Turnbull to get in front of Lawson and his keeper, make sure if Lawson does get that shot off, he's going to be there to try and at least give it a chance to be blocked before McGrain is there one-on-one, able to look at the whites of Lawson's eyes there.
Chrysler has it at the back, plays it back to Hunter Morse. Michigan State goalkeeper will be a sophomore in the fall. Up on the wing, chance for Detroit City. McGrain, dangerous play. Luckily, it went out.
He really calculated the risk there. That he came out entirely of his box. He was pretty close to being the last man. Not entirely, but if you're going for that ball, you better be sure that that's not going to end up in the back of the net. And it seemed that he was sure. He was willing to take that chance.
Ian McGrain to tee this one up here in the 51st, soon to be 52nd minute. A nice crowd here. Detroit City, of course, always bring lots of fans. And on the left side, Montoya has got an opportunity on the left. Stops, tried to play it through to Das. Knocked away by Perkins.
It was good ball from Afcaa to start that move there. Good defensive work there from Perkins as well, like you said, at right back. And now you force AFC to try and go again, and you force them to try and reverse field in a tough way.
Yeah, Turnbull unable to bring that one down with his chest. A little too high for him. Deacon brings it up for Detroit City. Jadida. It's back to Morse. There, ball taken away. Here's an opportunity for AFC Ann Arbor to Freitas.
Got to
on
take
the
advantage
wing.
of numbers there.
Crossing into the middle, looking for Matthews, and that'll be a corner kick for the Mighty Oak. That's a good play by DeFreitas. Step up.
Good work there from Chrysler too to make sure he's in front of that cross, is able to hit away. It looked like it came off his shoulder, but obviously not a handball because arms are in a neutral position right there. Gonna have to work something well to get past this strong City back line.
Vaughn to take the corner kick. Right-footed in-swinger. Here it comes, right into the middle, and looked like it went off the head of Thornton.
You had Thornton and Matthews both going for the ball, and that looked like it might have been a case of too many cooks almost trying to get at the back post, because it was a very well-hit ball from Vaughn, and certainly one of those two guys you would hope would get a cleaner head on that, but if you have two of them going for it, it makes it a little tougher.
Now this is a team missing 3 key offensive players. AFC Ann Arbor, we talked about it in the beginning. As is always the case, roster management is the key to NPSL soccer in the summertime. Jack Hallahan isn't here. Amadou Cisse is not on the game day roster today. Sebastian Schaubud, their young player who scored in the last game, he is not here. And his brother Andres is here, so they're coming off the bench today.
Looking at subs on the bench too, you have a guy like Alex Alexis. You have some good wing depth, even without Cisse or Schaubud, as that's a dangerous ball there from Roof to try and kneel down to your keeper. But
yeah.
Worked out all right for them in the end.
Lucky for Roof, that could have gone very badly. Here's Deacon. In the middle for Goodman. Tried to let it go, cleared out. Das giving chase. Carroll sends a sky-high ball. Roof wins the ball, finds help in Turnbull. Gets by, nope, tripped up by Goodman.
Another good 1-2 there. The 1-2s are in tight space and they're there. The problem is that because it's such tight space, that second step that you're going to try and look to get, or that third step, it's not there. And if it is there, as we've seen with City, they are so well adept at getting back in numbers, and their midfield works so hard that, and their fullbacks as well, that if you get that space, you've really got to make them pay.
So Tendai's down, and I don't know if he's...
Jadida will have to come off there. It looked like he might have got on that trip of Turnbull there, might have had a clipped leg there.
And he's going to let him get right back into it. 56th minute, AFC Ann Arbor with the ball, left wing Montoya. On the ground. Cross coming, no, foul coming, nothing's coming. It's a goal kick.
Those strong positioning there too. DeFreitas gotten good position there, but that was better positioned by the defender to be able to force him to go take the long route into trying to deliver across into the middle of the box. And when he blocked it, he made sure that DeFreitas was in an out of play position. So smart defensive work there, but again, like we said, the chances are coming. You just got to try and be crafty and capitalize.
Brame brings it down for Ann Arbor at the back. Finds Das. He's got Matthews in front of him. Takes it himself, taps it out to Matthews.
He's
got plenty of space. Nope, offside was the call.
I believe that was Matthews that was offside, because I think Das was the one playing it, and I can't imagine Das was offside, but it looked like Matthews might have been a touch offside, maybe half a step.
City will put this in play with Morse on the near side. Headed forward by Deacon, falls to the back line. Brought down nicely by Jadida. Nice ball into Lawson. Lawson to the edge of the box, crosses it, and Vaughn clears it out. Corner kick for Detroit City.
That's really good from Brame to get back in position, try and challenge Lawson with a 50-50 challenge there. You know you can't lean on him too heavily, or Lawson has the opportunity to go down on contact and force the referee to make a decision there. So good defensive work there from Brame, and you just got to clear that away. You can regroup for the corner.
Max Todd to take the corner kick. Right in front of the Detroit City supporters.
It was Chrysler that got an initial
Boy,
head on it, and there's Carroll to
bodies everywhere and cleared out.
Ann Arbor will be happy to take the throw there after it looked like, I think, 2 men in blue went down on that one, trying to block the shot or get in front of it.
City will get the throw in Ann Arbor territory. We're in the 58th minute. Detroit City with a 2-0 lead in this winner-take-all battle in the second to last game of the season. Cross coming in, headed out. Fell to Todd, but couldn't bring it down. Das clears it all the way up the field, but right to the back line for Detroit City.
That was a massive play there from, I believe that was Carroll, to just almost step on the ball there.
Jadida with some nice moves, but gives it away. Oh, Sadie finds Lawson. Lawson on his right foot takes the shot, but McGrain is there.
It was huge by Brame to just get in front of him. I think he got a piece of that for McGrain to be able to handle that easier. But the Eric Rudlin will not be pleased with that miscue there. It looked like Thornton and Roof, I believe that was, were going to try and let each other go for the ball. And the other thought the other was going for the ball, and it didn't work out there.
Lawson takes that one away, but gives it right back. To Montoya on the wing. Cuts it into the middle. Has it deflected, but falls right to Matthews. Das. Turnbull. Nice fake by Das. Goes to the corner, fakes the cross. Now hits the cross into the middle, headed out, and that'll be a throw-in. Deep in Detroit City territory in the 60th minute.
I believe that actually might have gone out for a corner. It looked like the ref signaled for a corner, and it's Vaughn.
And that is the case. You're right.
Yeah. Tough to see here at this angle.
It's a nice problem to have. There's too many fans over on that side of the field that it's hard to see the corner.
Certainly not a bad problem at all.
Cross into the middle, headed toward goal, and Morse with an easy collection.
I think that was Thornton who got a head on it. That was an impressive leap from him to even get a head on that. But at the end of the day, it was not too difficult for Morris.
Vaughn heads it forward, but out of bounds. Detroit throw. Falls to the back for Brame. Tried to touch it forward to Vaughn. Didn't put enough on it. Now it's taken away by City.
I think for both sides, you're seeing a handful of looser touches, a couple of mental mistakes. I think the Heat, while we talked about it was about 84, and there's a breeze there on the pitch, but it's still hot. You're still seeing water breaks. We haven't seen the second half water break. I imagine that's coming. But it's got to be hot out there, and as the heat comes, it's going to be a factor, and you have to imagine that maybe we'll start seeing some fresh legs and see if any subs can make an impact on this match.
Trying to cut inside and stays with it. Nice 1-2 ball with Perkins, and that's knocked away. Roof sends Montoya up the field. SK's in front of him. He gets it to him. And Detroit City will head back the other way.
Well, one of the things that makes Detroit City so sound in the back is, if you can see on the stream, there are almost at all times when they're in possession at least 2, if not 3 men defensively, and you can see it kind of rotates. But if there's a counter, it's immediately snuffed out because you already have 2 men behind the ball that are there. So even if you have numbers, you need 3 men getting forward to get the number advantage. And not too many times are you going to see that with such a midfield with Becky Goodman and Cyrus Sadie with such a high work rate.
Ann Arbor wins the throw after it deflected off of Sadie.
We're going to see our first sub as well here. I believe it's going to happen right now. It's Gary Ogilvie, who will come on presumably into the middle of the pitch, but Jordan Montoya will be coming off after a 60-minute shift.
So Montoya will check out. Montoya, scored 5 goals this year, scored 2 of them against FC Indiana back on June 22nd. He has a seat, and as I think you're right. I think we're going to see Ogilvie probably shift into the middle somewhere. And
it'll be interesting to see because you have presumably 4 natural central midfielder, or 3, I think, and you'll probably have SK push out. That's
what I was thinking. I have to think that's going to be the move.
Get back into the more favored 4-3-3. It'd been more of a 4-4-2 or 4-4-1-1.
Sadie through the middle to Todd. Chrysler at the back for Detroit City. We're in the 64th minute. Detroit with a 2-0 lead. Ball played on the wing. Nice slide tackle there. Snuffed that one out by Thornton.
You'll be hard-pressed to find a slide tackle timed out. That was by Brahim. Right. That was incredible timing there. It seemed like he knew what Tendai was going to do before he knew what he was doing, as Matthews gets the tackle there.
Matthews, little kick and run. He's got space. Takes a touch, takes another one, crosses, and it's a sitter, and it's cleared off the line.
That is the second match. It's 2 meetings between these 2 teams, 2 goal line clearances for City. That one, wide open net for SK. You can't do much better than that, and that's just the right place and the right time. And if that was by Chrysler, that would be his second goal line clearance in these 2 matches. He had the one against Jack Hallahan in the first meeting between these 2 teams. But that was such a well-worked bit of play. If you're AFC Ann Arbor, you think you're going to equalize. SK hits it. You can't really hit it much harder, or better for that matter, than he did. And that's just fantastic timing there from the City center back.
We got a free kick near midfield. This is AFC Ann Arbor, as I mentioned earlier, leads the all-time series 4-2-2. They are undefeated, they've won 3 straight at home against Detroit City. Their last time they lost a game at home was back in 2016.
They have a nice streak against Detroit City. You have to imagine the players, if they're not aware of that, they at least still have the pride to try and fight back and get these 2 goals. And that might be a blow, but you can't get too down on yourself. You still have 25 minutes. You still have stoppage time. That's still plenty of time. And as you saw right there, if there's a mishap in the midfield, if there's a poor back pass, you've got to be ready. You got to be ready to capitalize.
Here's Goodman playing it to Deacon on the left wing. away by Turnbull. Plays it up just over the head of Roof. Ogilvy giving chase.
We're going to see a double sub now as well, as Andres Shalbad is going to come on, as will Breno Stopsinkas. So Breno a defender, Andres a midfielder. We'll see where they slot in. Das is coming off for Shalbad. So looks like Shalbad's going to probably play in a more advanced role. And Breno did not check in right there. I saw him with his warm-up top off. He was dressed in his kit, but it seems like they're going to hold off on that sub.
And Breno can get forward too. So that's definitely not a purely defensive option. They can send him forward if they need to try to get on the scoreboard tonight.
He impressed against City at Keyworth getting forward. He impressed me very much so from the left back position, I believe. So it certainly could be a more attacking-minded defensive sub, if that makes sense.
Shalbin making his 6th appearance in all competitions for the club. Made his debut in the Milk Cup game against BIH Grand Rapids and scored a goal in the first few minutes of the game, as a matter of fact.
He won the penalty. He took it himself.
Yeah, 1 goal and 2 assists in just 5 games. Scored a goal at FC Indiana with both Shalbin brothers scoring. That'll be one for the AFC Ann Arbor trivia for the goals scored by brothers in the same game.
They could be part of the sub too. You have the man in form, Andres, coming off a goal in the last match. Might as well see if he can find that magic once again.
And there he is playing the ball on the ground to Matthews, and they get it back to Shalbad on the near side. In the corner.
There.
Still kept it in? No, unable.
It's pinged off of Perkins, but Perkins had the wherewithal to deflect that right back off Shalbad. So impressive defending from the right back there, who's out of position and in the moment.
Ann Arbor would like to have his brother Sebastian out there on the field as well. He's training with a pro team right now, and obviously you get opportunities like that, you take advantage of them. And
I know both the brothers are tight as well, and as emphasized by the fact that both of them scored a goal, I'm sure they were both thrilled for each other there.
Here's Ogilvy, a nice touch. Crossing it. Oh, he went for goal, and a nice save by Morse.
I think Ogilvy saw that reinforcements weren't coming in time fast enough, and the kick save ultimately unneeded as the referee rules for a goal kick. But it didn't seem like there were a ton of bodies flooding the back post. Maybe a 1-on-3, it looked like Matthews making that run. So you might as well go for goal there. See if you can test the keeper. Got to get shots on target. If you don't shoot, you can't score. And in this situation, you can't win. I'm stating the obvious there, but it deserves to be said here.
Clearance all the way to the back line. Todd giving, he shoves Brame. Brame does not appreciate it. I'm glad that Brame went for the ball and not Todd.
He got up off the ground quite angrily, and I was a little concerned that he was going to retaliate there, but level head, just get the ball, keep it moving.
There's SK on the far wing. Puts the ball on the ground for Matthews, touches it, shot over the bar and off the upright. That was an opportunity there for Ogilvy. He has given them a little bit of an offensive spark.
They'll take us into the second half water break as well. That was a nice pass from Matthews to Ogilvy. You want to see if you're Ogilvy, you want to get that shot a little lower, maybe get your head over it so it doesn't go too high. But the chances are there. They really, truly are there. We've seen, what is that now, 4 or so in the past 5 or 10 minutes? So
some good chances for AFC Ann Arbor, down 2-0 as we take the water break here in the 71st minute. Yeah, Gary Ogilvy coming off the bench. It is every summer league team, no matter what league you play in, you have to have a core, a few veterans out there, and he is definitely that. He is the old man, and it makes me sad to say that at the age of 29. But bringing his experience playing in New Zealand and England, and played a little bit in the FA Cup with Mansfield Town back in the day, and so Ann Arbor happy to have his leadership out there. Went to Florida Tech in his college days, and now players emerge. And I was keeping an eye and make sure there were no subs snuck on during the break.
Doesn't seem to be. It looks like we'll have the same 11 coming out for both sides as they came off.
Alex, Alexis, Henry Ramirez, and Yuan Webster are the remaining, and Pacheco also. Jacob Pacheco is on the bench for AFC Ann Arbor. Roddy Green, David Edwardson.
I believe in terms of the AFC substitutions, I believe it's Pacheco available and not Ramirez. I think Henry was a late match fitness test, and I saw Pacheco warming up during halftime, and I did not see Ramirez. So I think Coach Rudland decided to go with Pacheco, the more sure thing.
Headed up by Goodman. That'll be an Ann Arbor throw near side, and here's another change. There's Breno. He's going to come in, and it's going to be DeFreitas to come out.
So he'll probably for Countrymate, I believe. The two Brazilians swapping at left back.
Breno steps in. Sinskis is from Madonna University. That's where former AFC Ann Arbor player Yuri Farkas was a star, and is, I should say. He's a senior. He'll be a senior this year. He's up playing with the Flint City Bucks this season.
Marlon, a member of Madonna as well, so it's Madonna for Madonna sub as well. Plenty of Brazilians in the Madonna pipeline.
Or said Concordia University and NAIA school as well, so a familiar field for them to play on. Come here at least once a year.
Well, I saw Turnbull gesturing to his team to push up, to pinch forward. And I think what's going to happen is that we'll see Turnbull really getting forward, and almost like how I talked about where City will keep 2 or 3 men back, I think we'll see that with AFC Ann Arbor. That's a well-worked ball. Nice back heel almost.
There, shoulder to shoulder. That will go out. Goal kick for Detroit City here in the 74th minute.
So time is ticking down here. Time is of the essence now for AFC. And previously, you know, half an hour left, the whole half, not super concerned about time when you're 2 goals down. But now with almost 15 minutes plus stoppage time left, and you're still down 2-0, you're definitely looking to try and get a goal as quickly as possible so you can start thinking about that equalizer. And in a situation like this, you probably want to think about that 3rd goal too to get the win.
SK crosses it over everyone's head, but
stayed in somehow.
Yeah, still in, and falls to City. He goes out for a throw-in. That will be Detroit throw.
Bit more play here in the AFC Ann Arbor 3rd than we saw maybe in that first half. But that's to be expected when you have a team chasing.
Yeah, there's really nothing to lose as far as goal difference. I mean, the goal difference gap between the two teams is it's pretty sizable, so it's not like you're gonna close that gap. I say the difference between losing 2-0 and 4-0 really doesn't matter at all. So you'll probably see a lot of. There's Alex Alexis checks into the ball game.
I believe that was for Stephen Turnbull. So if so, that's a very much an attack-minded maneuver, because while Turnbull gets forward, he still is a right back, and Alex Alexis is a right winger through and through who can get back well defensively, but putting him at right back I don't think is an everyday occurrence.
Here's a chance for Ann Arbor. Back to goal. Roof. Brame sends it through the middle. Ogilvy has that taken away, cleared out. Alexis is there for the throw.
Just to add a bit to that attacking-minded sub, that is something that Eric Rudlin likes to do. He'll put in attacking players at a wingback position if you're down multiple goals or even just one goal. I saw that in the Midwest Regional Final last year with Duluth, where Kyle Breitmeyer came on as a right back. So it's definitely not an uncommon.
Alexis is playing a right back position. He's back there helping out with Lawson.
City are really putting people behind the ball. They're clogging up that middle. You see at least 6 outfield players
Shalbert
behind
tripped
the ball.
up. Vaughn restarts here, 77th minute. Detroit City with a 2-0 lead.
Talking about more subs as well, I think I just saw Juwan Webster coming in. He took off his training top there, and I think he'll be checking in. The usual center back. It'll be interesting to see where he comes, if he comes on to that center back to maybe allow Thornton to play up top is Alexis.
Alexis just puts that one out in the 78th minute. Trying to curve one in, it did not curve at all. So like AFC Ann Arbor likes scoring goals, Bank of Ann Arbor loves to help. Returning as the title sponsor for the 3rd year, Bank of Ann Arbor is a proud supporter of and the official bank of AFC Ann Arbor. And the referee, sure why he needed to run over there to say that, but you could save your energy and just yell. But
get those steps.
I'm not a referee. I mean, they teach you not to do that in referee school. Clearance for Detroit all the way up the field. Alexis and Lawson doing battle. Now Vaughn with it. Sends it long up to SK, making a run. Got Perkins in the neighborhood. Tracks it down. Can he beat him? Goes to his right. And loses it out. Diop.
Heck of a tackle there. He might be giving up a little bit of speed to SK there, but he was able to get back. He was able to make a nice tackle, slide tackle there. The key to being a good defender or being a good slide tackler at least is the timing of it. And we've seen some well-timed slide tackles today. That was one of them.
Ogilvy lost the ball. Now Detroit City, they're content to just send the ball downfield. Certainly not in penalty kill mode yet, and we've got player down and
might be a cramp, maybe it's Will Perkins down, so maybe on that slide.
Oh, they're calling for the trainer, so that I don't know if they were gonna bring in Webster here. Seems like they would. And maybe it's Brame that's gonna come out?
Might be. He is getting some direction from Eric Rudlin, but usually when AFC are in goal mode, Ben Thornton's usually the center back to come on top. So I wouldn't think he's coming out for Thornton.
Now that Brame's got a goal under his belt, he's got all sorts of offensive confidence.
Both center backs out there right now have a goal. I imagine neither of them want to go out. They're both saying, "Coach, we can get you that goal."
All right, so Perkins is up.
It's going to be Vaughn coming out. James Vaughn will be making way for Webster. If I had to guess, I think AFC will probably just try and sacrifice midfield for attack. Maybe. It looks like Vaughn's getting direction from Rudlin as well.
So what are they going to do? Yeah, okay, so here they're calling for the sub. They're going to make the sub, and it is Vaughn. So Webster's going to drop back with Brame and Breno.
Thornton is already with the strikers, so we're probably going to see something along the lines, if I had to guess, of a 3-5-2 with 3 center backs and SK and Alexis roaming the left and the right, trying to get forward, but serving as left or right back if necessary. We'll see how that unfolds, but if I had to guess, that's what I would say is going to happen.
Well, they're running out of time. 81st minute. AFC Ann Arbor down 2-0. Here's Breno. That'll be a throw in for Detroit City.
I think Cyrus Sadie is cramping up on the pitch as well.
And just as Perkins was set to come back into the game, and now Perkins will
come on.
Well, they might have to find a replacement for Sadie.
I think Ogilvy's having a chat with head referee. I don't think he's thrilled about Sadie laying on the pitch, taking up some time to get stretched out. But we'll see how much stoppage time the referee adds on, because usually things like that, if it happens, you probably see 30 seconds to a minute added on.
Here's Goodman at midfield, plays it to the near side. Alexis gives chase. Oh, took it away. Knocked it away now Matthews. Alexis brings it into the middle. Shalbud lost it. SK, Shalbud. Not enough room to shoot, and taken away by Carroll. Detroit with an opportunity here if they move. Deacon touches it forward. Todd. Deacon on his left. Plays it to him. Tackled away nicely by Breno.
Great slide tackle there again. You saw Sadie wide open on the right wing, but the positioning of the AFC defenders was so good that it almost felt shut off regardless of how open he was, because if you have enough defenders in one space, you're not going to be able to see that pass.
Knocked out. That'll be a throw in for Detroit. Lawson lost it. Falls into the middle. Now here comes Ann Arbor trying to push it forward. 84th minute. Send it up long. Carroll just boots it forward. And Ann Arbor tries to go back the other way. Here's Ogilvy and Matthews giving chase. Oh, Ogilvy unable to control it. Trying to
Ogilvy had a shot
over his back. Try to
almost like a half over the back. It was some impressive flexibility there from him.
On the run, that is not easy. Down in the 85th minute. That's Thornton who has joined the attack.
There'll be
and that is a foul on the near side, and a card is coming for Matt Brame.
Worst positions to take a yellow card in.
And it looks like Lawson is still down. Detroit City players giving the official an earful.
I think they want more than a yellow is what I would imagine. Can't blame them for trying, but I don't think that was more than a yellow. It's been Brayman Lawson battling all day.
And he's the goal scorer today in the 17th minute and the 43rd minute. Leading the conference in scoring. He's been crucial for them. He saved a point for them on the road in their last outing at Grand Rapids FC. That result, had it stayed with the Grand Rapids win, that would have totally changed our whole playoff scenario here, but big clearance up for Ann Arbor, pushing it forward, just kind of in Hail Mary mode. Ogilvy. Alexis on the near side. Plays it into the middle for Schalbert. Schalbert brings it to the left side. Crosses it. Redirected. Ogilvy chests it down. Tries to free up some space. Alexis crosses into the middle. Redirects in front. And cleared again by Detroit City. The back line saves them again.
We'll have a sub here for City. They'll try and deflate some of that momentum that may have come there. Tommy, is coming on to the pitch. See who he comes on for.
Buono will come out, former Northern Virginia United player, and
I think that perhaps has been Danny Deacon who came out. We'll have to.
No, that was Todd. Max Todd
came out. Max Todd. Okay.
So they, in the 87th minute, make a change and a foul on Matthews.
I think they'll get him for a high boot there.
So if you didn't get your fill of fireworks smell from the 4th of July,
you're getting it here at Concordia.
Here it is. Alexis trying to shield Deacon away from the ball. Goes to the corner. Nice outlet pass to Ogilvy.
Ogilvy's been impressive since coming on. He's really been a spark for this offense, for this attack.
Long ball sent up. Trying to send it up to Thornton, who's essentially become a target forward all of a sudden. Ogilvy leaves it off for Matthews. Matthews takes a shot, deflected in front, and ends up with Morse. 88th minute, now the 89th minute.
So just a couple minutes left of regular time. It'll be interesting to see how much stoppage time we get. Imagine if you're trying to get that equalizer, if you're AFC, you probably need to get something before stoppage time begins. You don't see too many teams getting 2 goals in stoppage time, as that's an offside there for City.
Buono is offside, and that is, as we head into the 89th minute, AFC Ann Arbor in Hail Mary mode, sending everybody forward. Or kitchen sink mode, I guess, is more my favorite. Brame to the top of the D, headed back. Matthews lays it out wide for Ogilvy. He was going to try to track it down, and he does right before it goes out of bounds. Schalbert, but Sadie is there to take it away. Foul. And that'll be a City kick.
Good work from Sadie there to try and shield Schalbert off. I think he was going down before Schalbert made contact with him, so might have gotten away with maybe a cheap foul there, but he'll take it regardless.
90th minute. The last time AFC Ann Arbor lost 2 games at home in a season was back in 2016. And one of those losses was to Detroit City. Brame chips it forward. Headed out. It falls to Ogilvy.
I believe we're getting 6 minutes of stoppage time. That seems what the
headed in front and falls to the near side. Brame joins the attack. Finds Alexis. Sends it on goal. Looked like a chip, but it was definitely headed on frame, and Morse was there.
Officially in stoppage time now, though. You've got to, as you said, kitchen sink mode. You got to throw everything out Detroit City and see if you can get something.
Thornton chested it down. City with the ball. Deacon. Ball sent all the way through. McGrain comes off his line. And he just blasts it forward past midfield.
Good positioning there from Matthews to track all the way back, and Brain to force Carroll there into not a mistake, but just having to leave it.
On the left side, and that's cut out by, that was Chrysler out there. Roof on the ground, intercepted. City headed back the other way with numbers. Diop, he's going to go coast to coast. Breno and Diop in a foot race. Shoulder to shoulder, slows him up, crosses to the middle. The hat trick is there. Lawson puts the game away in stoppage time, and he celebrates in front of the Detroit City fans.
There's a heck of an effort there from Breno to try and get back, but when you're pushing forward numbers that heavily, you're always susceptible to something like that happening. And credit to Diop with his dribbling speed there to be able to get past Breno and ultimately lay it off for Sean Lawson. And McGrain was in good positioning. He really couldn't have done much better there on that shot there from Lawson. It's always tough when you have a one-on-one, and what can we say? It's a hat trick for Sean Lawson. So that will, I would say we're probably almost halfway through our stoppage time. So that will, in all likelihood, seal up the 3 points for City, and by way of that, the conference. But you can't get too hung up on this one result if you're AFC Ann Arbor. You still have a game that you've got to stay focused for against Toledo Villa. And with that being at home, you've still got to impress the home fans, and you've got to make sure you win, because like we said, you can't just rely on Grand Rapids slipping up and letting you get into the playoffs.
Clearance to the near side, so yeah, that is what it shifts to. With the Detroit City will win the division. It will dethrone the two-time division champs. Ann Arbor, having won the last two, now of a new division champ. The first division championship that Detroit City has won since 2013.
There's one back.
There's a wait. When is the ref?
The referee's going to take the ball from him. You don't see that too often.
Yeah, I was wondering what's he doing.
It's a heck of a goal there from Will Eske. That was a nice floated ball in. It seemed to come almost out of nowhere, and maybe wonder goal might be giving it too much credit, but we can say it's a wonder goal.
What a goal. Eske scoring his 4th goal of the season. But probably too little too late, although if you remember a few years ago, as Lawson checks out, limps off, I should say, was a game. It was a Lansing United game. That's what it was. 2016. They played Lansing United at home. That was when they were playing at Pioneer. AFC Ann Arbor were down 2-0 in the 70th minute and scored 3 goals in the final 20 minutes. Obviously, much less time to go, but 2-goal comebacks are not unheard of.
So you're going to give the ball back there. So, in the NPSL, you never know what can happen. You might as well keep pressing forward.
Breno gets fouled. Yeah, probably just a couple of minutes left in this one.
Probably. I don't think we have much more than 120 seconds left, depending on how.
Well, with the celebration and then that goal, and there's a ball sent through. SK couldn't get on the end of it.
That'll be corner.
So
McGrain is gonna run up. He'll get to halfway. He won't make it all the way up. It'd be interesting to see if he could. He's a big target man there.
Ogilvy puts it into the middle of the box. Headed toward Thornton, was on the doorstep.
Smart work there from Morris to know that he has 2 defenders posted at each post, and he can take a couple steps out. And, as the keeper, you're the guy who can play with the hands. You might as well get a little out.
Back the other way. Oh, and here's a jailbreak, but it's offside. Agudelo called offside. Ann Arbor will put it back in play with Alexis here in the near side. Keeps it on the ground, gets it back. That has that taken away. Brame sends it far side, headed into the middle, and Thornton nearly got his foot to it.
I believe that was offside regardless, probably on Thornton. But regardless, that was a heck of a challenge there. Nearly a second goal. That would have made things very interesting, but the clock is winding down, that is for sure.
Yeah, we probably can't have much more than a minute left.
Maybe one more chance, I would think. But the ref hasn't really checked his watch too recently, I don't think.
Here comes Ann Arbor again. Breno chips it forward, cut out by City, and they are going to blow this one dead, and that is the game. Detroit City FC wins their first division title since 2013 and dethrones AFC Ann Arbor, winners of the last 2 division titles, and now they have punched their ticket to the postseason. AFC Ann Arbor will shift their focus to Friday's game. It will need to be a win to assure themselves a playoff spot. So Ryan, it was a rough start for AFC Ann Arbor. Sean Lawson had that goal in the defensive miscue, or miscommunication, whatever you want to call it, and tapped it in, and really that was a bad start that they never really recovered from.
Absolutely. That early goal really set the tone for the match, and it's always hard to play from behind, and especially in a game like this where there's so much on the line. You saw City be able to set themselves up and play strong, build out possession, and it's certainly the way that City would like to play. So at the end of the day, it will be all 3 points for Detroit City after an impressive performance. However, there's still all to play for AFC Ann Arbor. The team will be out in full force trying to get that all-important 3 points to secure themselves in the postseason bid against Toledo Villa.
All right, so it was Sean Lawson with the hat trick. He scored in the 17th minute. It was Max Todd, I believe, who had the assist on the 43rd minute goal, and then the third one in stoppage time to complete the hat trick, as he has now 12 goals on the season to lead the conference, and it was Will Eske who scored his 4th goal of the year in all competitions to break the shutout. So Detroit City FC wins this one, and that will conclude our coverage of AFC Ann Arbor soccer. Once again, 3-1, Detroit City wins it. The Mighty Oak dropped to 8-2-3 on the season. Detroit City wins the division championship with a 9-1-3 record. They still have one more game to go. They will play at Kalamazoo FC on Saturday. And next up for AFC Ann Arbor, they will wrap up the 2019 NPSL regular season Friday night when they host Toledo Villa FC right here at Cardinal Stadium. Kickoff scheduled for 6 p.m. If you can't make it out to the game, we'll have a live broadcast for you at afcannarbor.com. Be sure to follow AFC Ann Arbor on social media. Just search for AFC Ann Arbor on your favorite social media platform. All of our broadcasts, as always, brought to you by St. Joseph Mercy Health System, the official wellness partner of AFC Ann Arbor. To all of you watching from home, to wherever you may be, thanks for tuning in. For our fantastic production team, Ryan McCooch, I'm Josh Hackla, saying so long from Ann Arbor, and come on, you Mighty Oak.